We are live.
Hello,
Happy
guys.
Sunday.
How you guys doing?
Woo! Sunday. I love Sundays. I really do. I don't know why.
Does it look like the camera's a little? Well, maybe that way.
Do we need a V8?
Maybe I can do some adjustments.
Are we slanted?
Are we slanted?
Hello, everybody. I hope everyone had a great week. It has been beautiful weather-wise. Nice and cool. Some mornings a little chilly. I know this morning we did not take a motorcycle ride to church because I was being a wimp. So we went in the Jeep so I could stay a little bit warmer. I don't know, there were some days this week I just couldn't get warm, but I'll take it.
Now it's off center.
We're having little camera issues. Maybe we need to install a level on the camera.
That's close enough. Yeah, we're there.
Hello, all the moderators. Thank you so much for being on there. I see we've got Kathy and Melanie and Nancy and Jessica. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody there. Thank you guys for taking care of us today.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yes. So it's been a wonderful week, I was saying, with this weather.
Oh, man, the weather's phenomenal.
Could we just skip summers and keep this weather? I'd be more than okay.
Yeah, so we're sitting between usually right around 70 every day by the time it gets up to noon. I think right now it's actually in the sun. It's about 73 or 4.
We're like, man, it's getting hot out.
I know, it's getting hot.
But we don't want it to get too cool. Just stay in that sweet spot.
Yeah. It's been in the upper 40s in the morning, and I don't mind that either.
No, it's pretty nice, but I was not wanting to sit on a motorcycle with that chill
With
today.
the wind factor.
No, I wasn't in the mood for it at all.
Okay.
Brett was kind of bummed out.
Yeah, I like the ride back.
Yeah, the ride back is super
time,
nice.
Yeah, it warms up.
And actually on the way back, I was thinking, man, should have just rode on the motorcycle, toughened up, and it would have been a nice ride home. But, oh well. You got to enjoy the weather, sit out on the porch, do what you can, take walks in the park. That is fun when it's nice and cool out.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing that.
Yeah. So what you got going on this week?
So it's been kind of a busy week.
Yeah.
We're still doing the physical therapy with Brett's shoulder. So that's like 3 appointments a week.
Yeah. It's getting a little better, though. They say it takes time.
Especially when you're older, you just don't bounce back like you used to. And that really sucks, to be honest. It really does. So that takes up at least 3 days out of the week, and I think we have to do that for another 2 weeks, roughly.
I think so, yeah. Unless I decide to cut it short.
Well, you just stick with it.
A lot of it I feel like I can do at home.
But do you?
But, well, because I do it there, I don't need to do it at home as much. But if I cut it out, then I would dedicate myself to it. I would give it a whole hour and do a lot of the same things they have me doing. Like one of them's a PVC exercise where I've got PVC pipe and you're pushing on that shoulder, like this.
So I got to check with you on those off days and make sure you're doing what you need to be doing.
And they have you doing pulleys where you pull your arm up as high as you can and hold it and bring it back down. And I've got a pulley system out in the garage, so
no excuses.
I could, yeah.
He's got no excuses.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melanie, for putting all that up there. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Hi, Deborah.
Hey, Deborah's in the chat. What's up?
She says she did physical therapy with her back after surgery.
Was it helpful?
I think it is helpful.
I think it's working for me. It's what you put into it. I see a lot of people go to physical therapy and they're chatting it up and they're not really pushing themselves.
It's a social club.
Yeah, but I'm paying $37, so I want to get $37 worth. That's my copay every time I go. $37. So, in fact, she said, it was about 5 minutes till the hour was almost up. And she goes, you can finish up what you're doing there and call it good. And I was like, no, I want to finish out my time. She goes, okay.
He's a good student getting extra credit.
Yeah, I think I'm doing self-healment here. I'm not getting my 37 out of them.
So usually on the days that he has PT, we also do our gym days.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been going to the gym 3 times a week, and we're still staying solid with that. I would like to add in more cardio, but it's always hard to find the time.
They were closed this Monday, so we had to kind of do something different.
Yes. So what did we do? We went to
Tim's Ford
State Park.
Lake State Park.
And that's a really neat park. They have so much stuff there. I didn't realize how much they actually have there. And we did a video about that, and we'll put that out tomorrow. But I'm so blessed that we live close to there. There's a lot of cool trails and all kinds of fun stuff to do there.
Yeah, I have hiking trails, biking trails, and they're different. Some are paved and some aren't. And then some go up hills and stuff, and the others not so much. They have cabins you can rent. They have a campground. They actually have, I think it's one campground, but 2 different sites. So they have campgrounds. They have a marina, a boat launch.
They actually have, I want to say,
nature
3
center.
campgrounds.
Okay. A nature center, and then a welcome center, which is different than the nature center. The nature center, the day we went, was actually closed.
So now we got to go back.
So we got to go back. But
bummer.
It's really close, and it's very convenient. And there's a lot of lookouts. A lot of the trails, they loop back on each other, so you can go a mile, you can go 3 miles, you can go 20 miles if you want, I guess. You can just take different loops and loop all around. And all the loops have lookouts where you can look out over the lake, and it's very pretty. Yeah.
Did you know they even have an incredible golf course there?
Oh, I think we did see the
I read
sign
it's
for
one
the
of
golf
Jack
course.
Nicholson ones.
I didn't know that.
I don't golf, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it looked, in the pictures, they showed like a aerial photo when I went online, and it looks really magnificent.
Wow.
With water all around it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to go back there and do more hiking. And I'll tell you, those hiking shoes I have make such a difference.
Yep. So you broke them in.
So I broke them in, and those things are awesome. I'm so glad I have them. Thank you again.
Yeah.
That makes a difference for sure. There's a lot of little things that make a difference. I've noticed too, even in eating healthier and doing healthy, you have to do all the meal prep. And Jason had got me those really awesome dishes that I showed you guys last week. And those have been such a blessing. Just a simple thing like that. And having all your meals prepared during the week, it makes a huge difference, because when you get caught up in stuff and you run out of time, you come home, you don't have to cook anything. It's all ready. You pop it in the microwave. You can even pack it in your lunch bag and carry it around with you, so you don't have to be forced to eat some junk.
That's what I was going to say. If you're not meal prepping, then in our busy schedules, you get hungry. What do? You snack. You grab some chips, or you grab a candy bar, whatever your typical go-to snack is. And those things aren't healthy. It takes time to prepare a healthy food.
It definitely takes some time.
If you don't have it ready, you're not gonna wait. You're hungry. You want to eat now.
And it was frustrating at first when you're first learning like a new diet plan, a new way of eating. It takes a lot of extra time. But after doing it now for 5 weeks, it's fairly easy. You just got to plan your time. Like everything else, there's plenty of time in the day if you plan it all out correctly, which a lot of times we don't do. So sometimes it's just easier to sit and watch a cool show on TV or something, and you kind of shove everything else off because you just don't feel like it. But it's made a huge difference doing the meal prep, even what you have to prepare it with. I need to get one of those vegetable dicer things, because I've noticed sitting there chopping everything takes so much time. And again, we got rid of so much stuff that I didn't think I was going to be able to have in the RV. But now I definitely want to get one of those, because it takes a lot of time to sit there and chop all your sweet potatoes and your carrots and all that stuff. When one of those dicer things, you just load it in and go, and it's done.
Right.
So some things in your kitchen are definitely worth it. I don't think you need an appliance for every little thing, but there's a few things, if you are going to use them regularly, definitely worth it. My salad spinner, it's been awesome. Use it. The vegetable spiralizer for the zucchini noodles, use it all the time. And those are worth it to me to have.
That's almost like a gym membership during Christmas time. Everybody pledges that they're going to go and try and lose weight in January, and then they join these memberships, and then they go for about 3 weeks and they quit going. And they know that. That's why there's a membership to join, because they want you to break contracts
Right.
and pay. So,
Which I kind of wish they didn't have. I wish
I don't understand.
I don't think
really.
they should have
I
contracts.
think it should be pay as you go, but
yeah, that's a huge issue I have with that.
mhm.
And I know Planet Fitness is a little bit better about that, but it's super crowded too.
Yeah.
So,
And all they have is the weight equipment. And if you tier up, then they may have the water table and massage table. But you go on a list and you wait for it to become available too. So I've noticed that sometimes it's not worth the wait to get in a massage chair because you have the higher membership to use it.
right.
And it's okay, but the fitness center we go to has way more than just gym equipment. It's got an outdoor walking, jogging track that's part of the complex. It's like almost 2 miles long. Then it has basketball court. You got racquetball courts. You got they got 2 racquetball courts, but they use one as a pickleball court. Yeah,
Pickleball is all the
but
latest
they've
rage.
got all kind of stuff over there. I'm pretty impressed with it, and it costs nothing.
And someone was saying I should do a video on my meal prepping. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get to that. I'll put that in my notes for sure. I know I've got it a lot more down, and I know a lot of people have asked about it, and I was going to try to type something up, but there's just not enough time to get that done for sure. And a lot of people, I eat basically the same thing every day. And I did switch it up this past week, but it's still almost the same stuff, just prepared in different kind of ways. And I'm okay with that. I actually, for the first time in 5 weeks, had a different meal outside of any of the meal plans last night. I don't know that I picked the most stellar thing to eat outside of my meal plan, but we really didn't have much at the house because we haven't been shopping yet. So we had hot dogs and French fries last night. And I ate the hot dogs with no buns. And I can tell you, after I ate that, I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't full. And it just shows me what a difference the unprocessed food makes. Because every night when I eat the meals I've been planning or every lunch, I'm full. I'm not, usually when you go on an eating plan or a diet, you're hungry, you're deprived of everything. And I'm not. And this eating plan has been tremendous. It's very satisfying. So I kind of felt like, geez, I cheated and ate this meal, so to speak, and I don't even feel fulfilled at all.
Yeah.
So it felt like it wasn't worth it at all. I know if I had steak, I would have ate steak, but I had hot dogs. So, woo, big baller.
We didn't plan for cheat eat, did we?
I didn't plan for it at all. I had a craving for some French fries. So I was like, let's do fries. But you learn real quick that way of eating is so much different, and you feel so much better eating the good quality foods. Mm-hmm. So you definitely don't want to go back there, but it is good for this week to reset, because you don't want to stay on this low calorie diet forever and ever. Your body will adjust to it and it won't process things the same way, and you won't be losing the weight. So we're throwing a wrench in the plan this week and going a little off kilter. But I don't think I'll do any more hot dogs. But anyway, that's enough about that. But it has been an experience. I feel so much better. I'm happy that we finally decided to do something about where we were at. I've lost, I think, a total of 14 pounds roughly. I know pounds is not the best thing to go by, but some people like to hear a little bit of a measurement. your best way is to actually take pictures of yourself week to week and look at your pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But 14 pounds is the number that scale says, because, sometimes those scales, they're just ugly with the water weight and the this and the that. It's the same as getting your blood work done to check your hormones. You'd have to literally get it checked every day for 30 days to have an accurate reading, and then it probably still wouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm still stuck at about a 10-pound weight loss, but it could be that it's just being
You're building muscles.
I'm building muscle, yeah, because I notice a difference in that too. So it's good. I'm feeling better. So I just keep doing what I'm doing. I think I'll be okay.
But yeah, and it helps your mental health a lot to even just get outside, get outdoors, go for a walk. And again, if you can't walk, just go sit at a picnic bench or a park bench and enjoy the outdoors, listen to the birds, look at the scenery. It does a lot for your mental health to change your scenery. What else we got going on? We had
an Otter Creek meeting on Tuesday.
Yep, we had that big meeting, the big Otter Creek meeting. And we covered it because a lot of people still want us to do that. And we don't mind doing that because we still have ties to Otter Creek. We'll always have a tie to Otter Creek.
Mm-hmm.
It's where we met. It's where we got baptized together and we got married in Otter Creek Baptist Church.
Yeah.
So we'll always have ties to Otter Creek. And of course, as everyone knows, we have a lot of friends still there. And we continue to pray for that town and hope good things continue to happen. Yeah. So that's one of the huge reasons we cover Otter Creek, because we have invested interest there.
But we'll save most of our Otter Creek, what we think, talk for that video. We won't bring it to this one. We just wanted to mention that there was one.
Yep. And the big thing we were excited about was that they have rescheduled the Christmas and the Creek Festival to the same day. Yeah, so the festival will be the same day as Christmas in the Creek on December 14th. I'm hoping that's a solid date. And if anything changes, I'm sure you'll find out in numerous places. But as we know for now, that's the date. And I'm excited to be able to go down there because we were already going to go down there for Christmas in the Creek, but we weren't going to go down for the festival. So now we get to do both. And
so if we are there in December on the 14th, when is the meeting that month?
The meeting is that following Tuesday. I want to say the 17th. Don't quote me on that date, but I believe it's the 17th.
So if it's only a few days, maybe we'll hang out and we'll actually live stream the meeting.
That would be fun.
Because we're there.
Right.
And friends will come out and it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. So
the cool thing about that and being able to go down to Florida at that time is we get to go down to Florida as tourists.
Yeah.
And for me, that's so much more exciting than actually living in Florida, to be able to be visiting as a tourist.
It was hard when you had the campground to leave because people could come anytime, or you could have an issue in the campground. They'd call you any hour of the night. Hey, I just lost power, or hey, my water line broke, or how come this, how come that? You get inundated with calls, not every day, but you never know when they're going to happen. You could get 3 one day and nothing for 3 days. So you got to be there. If you're going to manage it and own it, someone has to be there. Because the people that live there are not going to manage it for you.
So now when we go as a tourist, we can actually go and enjoy things.
Yeah.
So that's super awesome to think about, because I know it was hard. I got to go do a few more things than Brett did. And Brett, he didn't want to leave a lot anyway. He just wanted to be there all the time.
Well, I mean, I got stuff to do, and I enjoyed walking the property. I enjoyed working outside.
I know, but you got to have a good balance. So anyway,
yep.
It'll just be fun to be able to plan and think of the different things we can go do and see. We have some kayaks we're going to be picking up.
Oh, yeah.
We will be taking the camper, absolutely. We'll be taking the camper and the Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be picking up some kayaks while we're down there to bring back with us. So that'll be fun.
So I do have some kayak racks to go on the Jeep, but I have removed them. So I have to remember to put them back on before we go down there.
Put your rack back.
Put my rack back on.
So, and then we can bring our hiking sticks
Yeah.
and our hiking shoes and find some trails.
What might be a challenge down there is finding campsites.
That will be a challenge. You know that for sure, because people book in Florida sometimes a year in advance.
Yeah. So places will be filling up.
We will have to be creative if we're not locking anything in, and we don't usually lock anything in, and we kind of wing it.
I don't want to be locked down to, oh, we have a date over in this city because this is where we booked an appointment. I want to be able to say, hey, plans change. Let's go over here. And I like the freedom to be able to do that. But if you're not sure you're going to have a spot anywhere in the state, I guess you got to lock something down. We like to stay at the bases, and the bases don't necessarily have a reservation system. Some do, some don't. And every one of them is different. I'd like to go back over to Patrick Air Force Base, which is on the East Coast. It's right near where they launched the shuttle, and you're able to watch the launches over there. That's not to say that they'll have one when we're there.
Yeah.
But we didn't get to explore that area. We stayed there one night, but it was a hailing horizontal wind that was we put up a tent for that.
I wish we would have had a channel for that, because
that tent was laying sideways the entire time.
A funny video watching us two assemble this tent in this. It looked like hurricane force winds. They weren't that bad, but it looked it, and it was so ridiculous.
So what we did back then is we moved trailers around. So we would tow people's trailers and set them up. And we were on a haul we called them a haul. We were on a haul at that point, and we kept a tent in the back. In the event that we didn't, make it back or want to drive all the way back, we could just throw a tent up. And so we did, and whoo, man, that was a bad night for tent camping.
It was.
We were right on the water.
It was right on the water. There was even little bunny rabbits hopping by.
Yeah.
They were probably laughing at us. It was quite a funny experience. You just sometimes in life, you really just got to laugh at yourself. If you don't know how to laugh at yourself, you're in big trouble.
Now, Florida's no place to tent camp in the summer.
No.
And one, it's not safe. Two, it's miserably hot.
It is so hot. I remember when my son was in Boy Scouts, and we lived in South Florida at that time, and he had a tent camping trip in Lion Country Safari.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Which I don't even know if I do think they still have it. So this is around West Palm Beach, and you can drive through, and they have all kinds of animals, and you drive through in your car with the windows up, and they have rhinos and giraffes and all kinds of stuff. And some of the animals will come up to your car. We had giraffes that would come up, and they would stop in the middle of the road, and you just have to stop and let them do their thing. And two of them locked necks, and they were swooping down right in front of our windshield. And it was really pretty cool. And anyway, they had a camping trip there. So they had a campground right near there. And in the morning, you could hear those lions roar, and it just shook the ground in your tent. It was so amazing. It felt like the lion was right outside your tent, but it was hot. It was summertime, and it was so miserable. Nowadays, they got all these glamping tents with these air conditioners you can put in. Well, they didn't have all that then. And I don't think I would have had it anyway, because it kind of defeats the purpose, and it's expensive. But it was a lot of fun camping with the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. I was a Girl Scout. But in the summertime, no, not fun at all.
I was a scout leader at one point. I was a cub master in Alaska for a short period of time. But I was also an assistant scout master for a Boy Scout troop at Fort Campbell when I was stationed at Fort Campbell, Tennessee, or Kentucky. It's right on the border there. The post office is actually on the Kentucky side, but I lived on the Tennessee side on the base.
That's funny.
Yeah. But those were good times. Yeah, good times.
Oh, jinx.
Because the Boy Scouts are committed to go out one weekend every month.
You know what I did like?
It does not cancel for weather.
About the Boy Scouts versus the Girl Scouts. In the Boy Scouts, they actually let the whole family come camping. But in Girl Scouts, it was all just girls. Only the girls were allowed. But in the Boy Scouts, they actually allowed brothers, sisters, and all that to come. So I was like, that's cool because it really promotes the family getting out
Sure.
there and all that.
There's some events that the Boy Scouts allowed that too. It just depended on what they were doing.
Yeah, well, I'm saying the Girl Scouts never.
You
did.
know, in Alaska, they have 100 below badge.
Yeah, what do you have to do?
You have to stay out in your tent or in a. You make like a. You can use a tent, but you pack snow around it, or you can just make a shelter with the snow, and pack it.
Like a little igloo.
Yeah, but if it's a 3-day night thing, then you add the temperatures together. So if it's 25 below one night and 30 below the next night and then 30 below the next night, you add that up. But you want to get 3 of your coldest nights so that you can get the 100 below badge in just 3 nights and not have to stay 4 nights or 5 nights. You know?
Wow. I don't know if I could do that.
They like to do it in January. That's the coldest month. So if you have 30 below, 20 below, down to 20 below isn't really that bad. It's actually fun and you're equipped for it. When you start to get to 30 below, that's like another tier. And then 40 below, nobody likes that. 40 below, things are a little different. Your corners act different. The nostril hairs act different.
How's it feeling in Alaska
Your
now?
hairs act different. Yeah, 40 below is not nice, not fun.
I know Jason said it started snowing and everything there. And
yeah, they got a bunch of snow. I think they're supposed to get 12 to 18 inches of snow, I think, tonight.
Warm thoughts are with you, my friends in Alaska.
Actually, if it's snowing, it's not that bad because it has to warm up to snow. The worst part is when it's too cold to snow. When it's 30 below, 40 below, it's not going to snow. It's too cold. There's no clouds. So when the sky opens up, the temperature drops. When the clouds move in, it helps warm the earth, so it keeps the temperatures warmer. So when the clouds move in, the temperatures warm up and you might snow.
Yeah, Jason said the snowing is fine, the rain sucks.
Yes, the rain there is, it's bad because it's a sheet of ice.
Is that or
well, it's slow traveling because work doesn't close, the schools don't close. You still got to get there. Now, employers, when I was up there, were always very lenient on when you get in. They're like, yeah, if you can make it to work, come on to work. But if you're an hour late, they don't say anything.
We didn't have any snow days or any interruptions in Florida.
They just tell you to just take your time and be safe. But yes, come to work. So. Good times. It's a different world. I mean, when it's cold enough, you plug your cars in. You don't do that anywhere. Well, some of the northern states might do that.
Yeah, I never had to do that.
But that's a thing up there. 20 below or colder, you plug your car in. On the base, I think it's almost mandated. So.
Yeah, that was a new thing, seeing all the outlets everywhere.
Yeah, outlets everywhere.
I've never seen that before. So
yeah, that's for plugging in your car. You plug it in so it has a block heater, a battery pad, either a pad or a wrap, and a transmission pan heater that you just glue it right to the oil pan, and it helps preserve the engine so the cold start isn't quite so cold.
James says it was 27 degrees in Anchorage last night.
27's not bad. It's snowing. It's almost not even freezing. It's only 4 degrees from freezing. From not being freezing. 27. Anchorage doesn't get that cold. They think it does, but go to Fairbanks and then tell me what's cold.
Yeah, there's a big difference. I noticed from Anchorage and Fairbanks.
It's only about a 6-hour summer drive. It's 360 miles, but it's a huge difference in weather, summer and winter. Anyway.
So yeah, we definitely have to do some research and figure out what we're doing in Florida. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to go as a tourist.
Yep.
I was excited to leave there as a resident, but I'm excited to go back and visit and see friends and do fun stuff that we didn't get the chance to do. Sometimes when you live somewhere, you just don't get the chance to enjoy.
Oh, at the meeting, do you remember the lady who was,
you remember?
I think Jen was her name.
Yeah.
She was running for
the clerk of court.
Clerk of courts. She did reach out. I messaged her, and I went to her website, and and told her we covered the meeting. You know, I hope you guys, I hope you're victorious and get the seat that you're looking for. And she goes, thank you. It's an uphill battle because of, and she didn't say why, but what I said. And then she says, yes, it's an uphill battle, basically because of what I said. And what I had mentioned is it's a good old boy system, and it's really hard to break up the good old boy system. And so her response was, yes, it's an uphill battle, but you don't know if you're going to get it unless you try. And absolutely, you should always try, right?
Yep, you got to try.
So I told her we put good
You got to
work.
throw a wrench in the matrix sometimes.
I told her we were pulling for her.
Sometimes you get the chance, and
we don't
sometimes
vote there.
you don't.
We don't vote there anymore, but
we're praying. We're praying big time.
We're still watching.
Yes, Kathy, you're right. Definitely save a cheat day for barbecues because that's worth it.
Yeah.
I do miss those redneck nachos.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
They're supposed to have good barbecue here too, but it's a sweeter. It's more of a Memphis barbecue. It's supposed to be a sweeter type of pork. We haven't experienced it yet because we've been.
I know when we were out yesterday, I was like, man, I could go for some barbecue.
You know, there's a lot of barbecue places here.
There was, and there is.
Yeah, and I don't know which ones are good and which ones aren't. So,
guess we got to just flip a coin and try one.
I've not seen a barbecues though. That must be something local.
Yeah, there's no barbecues around here. And we did go yesterday to the Bell Buckle Fest.
Yeah, that was neat.
That was huge. Like, I thought I knew what a huge festival was, but I have never been to a festival as huge as that was.
And it's a little town. I mean,
it is very little town. And this festival like zigzagged through it.
Yeah, we went through it, ended up on the other side, but we should have taken a parking spot close on our side of the town because we had to go back through it to leave. But it was a phenomenal. It was way bigger than I thought it was going to be. So first off, the town is called Bell Buckle. That's the name of the town. It's Bell Buckle, Tennessee, and it's
not
actually
Belt Buckle.
Bell
Buckle.
ELL. So Bell Buckle is actually one of the top 10 small towns to live in Tennessee, according to some surveys. I think it was neat. It was neat. And I think it'd be neat to go back when there's not so many people there.
Yes, I definitely want to do that because they have a lot of neat little shops in there. But
they do, but they were too busy.
There was so many people. They say over 100,000 people go to that festival
over the weekend.
And I think they were all there Saturday.
They might have been.
I just couldn't believe it. They didn't even have the streets shut down. The traffic still continues.
Yes.
And the cars and the people
are just walking in between the cars. And
it all weaves through. And I got to hand it. Like, I've never been to a festival of that size, a craft and art festival. And everybody was so nice. It was unbelievable because I know I've been to some festivals smaller than that and people bumping into you. They're rude. It's hot. People are just nasty. And these people, if they bumped into you, they are going to apologize.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's just so sweet. And
it's a real sincere apology.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, sorry. No, it's like, oh, excuse me. Are you okay?
And the cars and the traffic and everything can just go smoothly because people are genuine and care. Now, of course, there's rotten apples everywhere. I get that. But overall, it was just a great spirit of people coming together, having fun. And it was so huge. We didn't even walk the whole thing. There was no way. And it was fun, though.
It was shoulder to shoulder. The whole street was not just one street, several streets. It was shoulder to shoulder people. And then some roads were blocked off. And then the vendors' tents were not on the street. They were off the street. So you have a street full of people shoulder to shoulder going to these things. It was big. It was huge.
And yeah, I definitely do want to go back to the town. Mm-hmm. So awesome.
It's known for its antiques.
Yeah, we walked into one antique shop and started looking, but the size of this antique shop we walked in was like, we better save this for another day. They had some really cool stuff just walking into the first part of the store, but this thing went that ways deep and that ways deep. It was humongous.
Yeah,
So we're definitely going to have to go back there.
We could do a whole video on just that one antique store. So we did go in it, and you'll see us in the video go in it and come out. And we do talk about, we'll come back and cover that another time. Let's cover the festival. So,
I did not buy a belt buckle. Say that 3 times fast. Yo,
we saw a
skipper.
bunch of them.
And we saw no street thugs, no teenage gangs, none of that.
Nobody acting up.
It was wonderful.
It was.
And the people there make some money for parking. I'll tell you what, because they were selling parking for $10 and 20 bucks a pop. And these places were packed, and people had their yards full. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, wow. But it was a lot of fun. We really had a lot of fun. And I love just getting to explore the different little towns around here. And I see we have a couple of different moderators in now, Amy and Heather. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, welcome.
But yeah, and we stopped in, what was that, where we saw that blessing box? I don't know if y'all saw that little short we did. That was in
War Trace. You go through it on the way there.
And I just had to stop in and see that because I'm like, okay, now that's what a blessing box should be.
Yep. And
like it was stocked.
She's like, pull over. I said, we'll catch it on the way back. So we caught it on the way back, and she put it up.
I love that they had that. And I think a lot more towns.
War Trace is another neat town we need to check out. It's very similar to Belt Buckle in that it has antique shops, coffee shops.
Yeah, a little bit smaller maybe.
It's probably a little bit smaller, but it has a train that runs through it, and the roads kind of meander over and around it. The roads were really weird going into that town because you either just came down off of a mountain or you just came up out of a valley and boom, there's a town.
There's so many cute really little towns that I want to explore. And I love going in the little shops. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So much fun. Is either one of you going to show up as a sugar plum fairy at Christmas in the Creek? I will. I got to get something to wear. Usually I do elf. Last year, I was not anything but a soggy, wet car parker. Me and Brett were out there in the rain
parking cars
with a couple other wonderful people.
When they would work.
Yeah, it was a hot mess, but everybody was safe, so it was a success. But this year, I definitely would like to be an elf or something, but I gotta get something to wear.
I'd like to maybe do something inside. Unless the weather's really nice, then I'll be outside.
Yeah, I really want to see all the cute little kids and
you don't
excitement.
You don't get to see much when
you don't get to see all that when you're out there.
Yeah.
You get dirty, and Brian was out there, and Andy, and I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody, but it was messy.
Yeah,
but it was a success, and it was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I know I will probably miss going shopping unless we get down there early. Who knows? Because that was fun when we got to go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica says she's wearing her same elf outfit. Oh, she's got some extra ears. I had donated all my stuff. I don't even know what's left. I know the Hudson sisters were wearing some of my elf outfits because I had a couple. And I was just reading Jason's comment. Brett as a sugar plum fairy ? Wouldn't that be a hoot?
I'm not even sure what that is. I'd have to look it up.
Look it up and get crafting your costume tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. Andy only wants to work outside. I bet he's going to be the car parking extraordinaire this year.
Yeah.
But hopefully there's better lights, and we don't have Brian this year. So if any cars get stuck, because there were some cars that got stuck last time. So Brian had to get out there and use his muscle.
I thought that grass got tore up that night. I saw
so
mud
messy
everywhere, but the next day it really wasn't that bad. It dried out and everything.
Yeah, there you go. Brett could be a nutcracker.
Oh,
you nutcracker, you. Oh yeah, hopefully it doesn't rain because we could do without that this year. Nice and cool with no rain. But yeah, maybe I'll be an elf.
Elf on the shelf.
No, I can't be an elf on the shelf. That's Mr. Sean Goodman's job.
That's right. So the Jeep got sick. So the Jeep has to go in. It actually has two issues right now. One's minor, doesn't matter. I can get to it. I have an extra accessory radiator fan on the front, and it works on a switch inside. It's when it's hot, I can turn that on and it cools the engine down faster. It stopped working, so I have to get another radiator fan. I was able to troubleshoot it, and the relay's still working. Power to the fan is still working. Just the fan isn't working. So I think the fan kind of gave out. The bigger issue, we're actually taking it into the shop. We think it has a leaking rear main seal. So that's not something I can do in the garage because you have to pull the transmission off the motor and drop. Usually you have to drop the drive chain in order to pull the transmission off the motor. And then there's a seal that has to be replaced. So
I don't want to
can't
do that.
I mean, I could do it if I had a place to do it, but I don't have all.
Yeah, I don't even want to do it. I
Yeah.
used to repair a lot of my vehicles back in the day, and I've helped put transmissions in and motors in and oil changes and brake jobs and all that kind of fun stuff.
So we have an appointment Tuesday.
I don't want to do that no more.
For that. And they say they can do it in a day. It's a 3-hour job. So we're going to have it there first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock when they open up. And
yeah, Kevin says it's a $7 seal and $1,000 of labor. I'm sure.
I bet it is.
I'm very sure. And that's one of the reasons I used to do so much of my own work, especially when I delivered mail and I had to use my own Jeep. I was always doing brakes and rotating tires and plugging tires and changing the oil. And oh, it's so backbreaking.
You know, another thing the Jeep kind of needs?
Spawn Trooper in the house.
Hey,
Hello.
Spawn Trooper, how you doing? The engine is coated in dust.
It's got the Alaska grind.
From being towed up to Alaska and back. A lot of the gravel roads and the dust kicks up under there. It is caked with dust. I blew out the best I could, and I took the air filter off. It has a K&N air filter, so you can just take it off and blow it out and put it back on. But it's nasty. I mean, my hands were black.
It is nasty.
So it needs an engine cleaning. Maybe I'd like it to be steam cleaned. I guess, are there companies that do that? I would think they do. I asked the lady at the shop, do they clean engines? And she says it just depends. You want to be real careful with some of the electrical connections. But that thing needs cleaned bad. Like, it's bad. So hopefully we can find a place that'll clean it. Because I don't have a pressure washer. Really, I'd rather use hot water than cold water. Because hot water evaporates off quicker and it won't rust.
Well, I'm sure somebody does.
Won't rust everything. And they can bag certain parts of it and protect it, but the main engine needs to be cleaned. The radiator and all that, you can pressure wash all that. So hopefully we can get that done too.
That'd be great. Yeah, this week doesn't have as much fun stuff going on. I got to go to the dentist Monday.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow.
And get a cavity filled. Hopefully I don't end up having to have a root canal because that will be awful.
Ugh.
But he thinks he can get it done with a filling. Crossing my fingers. I'm saying my prayers because I do not want a root canal.
I'm just going in for a cleaning because I had no fillings. And she brushes her teeth more than I do.
Yeah. And I'm like, so he gets rewarded for not doing a good job?
I brush at night and you brush in the morning and at night.
Right. So
which you should. You should brush after every meal, but we're bad about that. Well, if I brush after dinner at night.
You always include me in your we.
Well, that's when I choose to brush because that's the longest time that you would have food on your teeth is after dinner because now you're going to sleep with it all the way to morning. But if, you eat breakfast, a couple hours later, you eat lunch, a few hours later, you eat dinner and you're done. So that's a whole lot of meals. And then your food's not on your teeth very long.
Right. Well, I brush morning and night. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and a lot of good it's doing because I'm the one who needs a filling. So I don't really understand that. However, I digress. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. And of course, we have the PT to continue this week. Yeah. And working out at the gym.
I'm
hoping because it's supposed to be a little warm this week in the middle of the week. Maybe we can
Yes.
take that jet ski out.
It
Because I
wouldn't
want to
hurt,
take it out again before.
wouldn't hurt to take the boat out again too before.
Yeah, wouldn't hurt. Let's do that too.
We're starting to see a lot of boats get hauled out. Like this is their summer second home, weekend home, and then they don't stay here all winter or even all week. So we're seeing a lot of boats being taken out and the covers are on them. Like they're not coming back.
Yeah, they're done.
They're done for this season.
But I think this week we can get another use of each one in if we plan accordingly. Spawn Trooper says, have you thought of using bedliner paint for the underneath of your RV and in the wheel arches so none of that sticky stuff will stay in there?
No, I haven't really. No. But if I do tow that Jeep back to Alaska, I do want to put some kind of protection where the grime and the sand and the silt can't get up into the rear main seal area. Because I think that the direct contact with that, I don't think damages it right away, but I think it does shorten the lifespan of those seals having that stuff on there. And then, the shaft turns in there. And so I don't think it was helpful. So if I can build something that would keep at least the road grime, most of it out of there, I think it would help prolong the life of that seal. But we'll see.
Yeah, someone said Jeremy just had a root canal. Yes, he did. And I do not want that treatment.
How much did he say that was?
They are pretty expensive.
It was like $1,500 or
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of pocket.
Root canal. And they hurt your pocket and your mouth. So it's a double whammy.
Yeah, it hurts twice.
So I do not want that at all. I know it's helpful. I haven't been eating sugar anymore. So hopefully that helps too in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps I should not have eaten all those Tootsie Rolls that I got from the schoolhouse. So perhaps.
Oh, here's something at the belt buckle thing. I got two things. I'm going to join them together, okay? Because we're going to talk real quickly about the Tennessee-Alabama game, right?
Oh, Lordy.
Can't go without saying it.
Oh,
hey,
Lord.
So if you don't know and you don't care, Tennessee beat Alabama yesterday. It's a big deal here in the SEC conference, and we live right in the heart of the SEC conference. So you got all these powerhouses struggling trying to make the playoffs and the championship. You got Alabama's as always in the talk, and you got Tennessee is usually on the outside looking in, but they did good yesterday. And you got Georgia too, and my cousin from Georgia, she's always razzing me about that. So Georgia and Tennessee are going to meet down in Georgia in a few weeks. That ought to be fun because we'll be back and forth on the phone going, touchdown, But it was fun to watch Alabama get beat. And there was a guy at the Bell Buckle Festival. He was wearing all Alabama garb. And I said, man, and my camera's running. I talked to him. I say, you got a lot of nerve coming into the heart of Tennessee with all that Alabama stuff on it. And he said something funny, but he didn't get mad or anything about it. He didn't.
Well, that's good. I mean,
it wasn't any kind of way. It's not like we're the ones playing.
I never did understand that when people get so crazy mad over different stuff with the teams. And I do not enjoy when people are cursing at the screen when their team is losing, and I just don't understand all that aggressive, nasty behavior.
There was a comment in the Facebook group. I posted the score of the game to see what kind of reaction I would get, and she said she lives in Alabama, but she likes it when Alabama loses because then everybody is sulking for a week and she can get around the town easier.
That's just silly.
I thought it was funny. It's just a game. You root for your team to do the best they can, and if they come short, then
there are a lot of Alabama fans in this part of Tennessee. We have noticed that for sure.
Yes, there is.
I don't get all caught up in it, so it's all good for me.
We're just rooting for Tennessee. I didn't do that in Florida. When I went to Florida, we were near Gainesville, and we would go to Gainesville for all our supplies, Sam's Club, Lowe's, and all that. The closest ones were in Gainesville, and that's That's where the University of Florida
Well,
is.
Gator fans can get very nasty.
They can. And
They absolutely
I
can.
never took to the Gator Nation thing. I didn't really like what they were about. And then when I go to Gainesville, it's not pleasant. You're fighting for parking spots. Nobody lets you out in traffic. Not everyone, but the vast majority of the people we ran into, we wanted to get in Gainesville and get out. So we would try to go during the week and go early. But if you ended up getting caught up and you had to go on the weekend, it was miserable. I hated it. She hated it. So not a Gator fan, not a Gainesville fan, don't like it.
I worked for a short while at the Bass Pro in Gainesville, and you would just have early in the morning, sometimes some of these college students coming into Bass Pro drunk, leaving cups of alcohol on different shelves where it would get spilled, and just acting foolish.
And the university is not even that close to
No.
Bass Pro. It's on the other side of Gainesville.
Right. And there's a huge rivalry between the Seminoles and the Gators. So I remember working at the post office. A lot of the carriers were Gator fans, and then there was a couple of Seminoles fans. And whenever the Seminoles fans wore their stuff in there, those Gator fans just got ugly and nasty with
come
them.
out and get ugly.
And I would just sit back there looking like, shaking my head, acting like fools.
You know what I found fascinating about the game is I didn't realize that that's the 6th largest venue in college football. That stadium holds over 101,000 people. And I believe it had 101,985 people at that game last night.
That's a lot.
That's crazy. And then it was packed, so it's full. So there's tailgaters. So in the parking lot and all that, you probably had 130,000 fans in that area.
That's crazy.
But,
that's crazy.
And then every time there's a good play or they score, they play Rocky Top. I didn't really like the song at first, but it's growing on me. I know it. It's an old country song, but
I don't know. While he's watching
it's
football,
growing on me.
I got other things to do.
I was like, there they go, Rocky Top. So I can embrace Tennessee. I can embrace it.
A Miami Dolphins fan. I was raised a Miami Dolphins fan.
I was a Redskins fan.
My dad was a big Miami Dolphins fan, and I grew up in the Fort Lauderdale area, so believe that I was a Miami Dolphins fan. And we used to go to all the different parades and see Dolphin Denny back in the day and Don Shula. So
I used to landscape some of the coaches' properties, didn't you?
Yep. Actually, when I did landscaping, we had a landscape company. There was a couple of the coaches for the team that I cut their grass. Yep.
But they worship Don Shula down there.
So,
you still see his name on stuff.
Dan Marino. I know when I was in elementary school, I was such a big Miami Dolphins fan. They had the opening of this town called Weston, and Dan Marino was going to be there to throw out footballs. So I was allowed to stay home from school that day so I could meet Dan Marino.
Did you get to meet him?
Well, it wasn't the best experience because, of course, he was super busy, and some of those celebrities, as you would say, don't want to take as much time.
Did he snub you?
And he snubbed me. So I got awful upset, and I did not think Dan Marino was so great after that. I still like the Dolphins, but I was not a Dan Marino fan anymore. And that's my little story about the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But we did have fun growing up down there. Even when I worked for the Broward County Libraries, there was a raffle that 2 people could win press passes to go into the Miami Dolphins locker room and meet the players and watch the game, the practice games, and you got to sit in the press box. So I won for that, and we got to go do that, and it was a good time. Me and my friend got to go.
That'd be fun.
It was a lot of fun. And some of those players, man, when you get up next to them, they are like, they are buff.
They're big boys.
And you're like, wow. You don't really recognize on TV how tall some of them are, how huge They
Yeah,
are.
it's because you have 22 players on the field and they're all big.
Right.
So you have nothing to compare them to.
So we were out there getting autographs and everything, and you're just looking at them like, holy moly. Like, one of the guys, he was laughing because I think I was sitting in the press box and I was mouthing like, wow, and he was laughing. Oh, it was a good time.
They probably get that a lot.
Probably. So it was definitely a fun time. I still have pictures of me in the Dolphins locker room.
But I have a lot of respect for a celebrity that'll just take a few seconds out of their day to make someone's, that's a very impressionable thing to a child. Now, I don't know how old you were, but even if you were 14 or 15.
I was younger than that.
And you're anxious to see this person. And this person just even gives you like a, hi, I'm glad you came, enjoy the game. And that's it. That's great. You'll probably never forget that moment, and it'll have such an impression upon you. But when they snub you, it has the reverse effect.
Yeah.
It may just be he was having a bad day. And
he probably was. We're all human beings. So, now looking back, I don't, hold any grudges, of course. It was so long ago and so silly. But as a kid, I was pretty upset that day.
Everything's magnified when you're a kid.
I was like,
how come he didn't talk to me?
I was so upset. But it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm still here today, holding my head up high.
That's it. Yeah.
And you don't really hear much about him anymore anyway.
No, but they still have his name around the town down there. Well, the town, it's a huge city.
Yeah, Weston.
Overgrown. Miami's overgrown.
Weston was the town that they had opened that day. But it was a lot of fun growing up back then. Like I said, I certainly wouldn't want to live there now, but I did have fun growing up in the Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale area.
You know what is interesting about that whole area? In Florida you can have never been to Florida, which, I had only been once as a young kid, don't remember much. But you can have never been to Florida, right? But I bet you can name 10 cities in Florida. And I bet your home state doesn't have 10 cities that are of size that are mentionable. Like Florida just has a large number of popular cities that people have heard of. You got Tallahassee and Tampa and Jacksonville and Orlando and Miami. I mean, just to name 6 right off the top of my head. Then you got smaller ones, okay? But to have like that many major cities that everyone's heard of is crazy. And right around Miami, you even got some smaller little suburbs that you probably have heard of, like Fort Lauderdale and Coral Gables. I mean, you've heard of these little towns, and they're all in the same little area, just peppered in. But when you add it up, it's a huge metropolis, and it's a large strip. And then when you go west, it's funny, as you're going west out of Miami, there's nothing. You're going to hit a wall where there's nothing but Everglades, and they stop building. It's really weird. So you can be in the soup, what I call in the soup, of a lot of traffic, a lot of people, a lot of high density of people. And then suddenly you go through the last light, and now you're in nothing but Everglades. It's really neat how it's turned on and off in one block.
I loved growing up down there. I could go to the beach in the morning and then be in the Everglades at night. And those are 2 very different places.
Very different.
And I just love, because I had some friends that lived out in the Everglades, still have some friends that live down there in the Everglades. And it's like you're in a whole nother world. It's like going from the city to some very different kind of rural place, but you got gators and panthers, and it was just really cool out there. And you could actually see the stars because there wasn't all the city lights, and it was a whole nother world. And we had such a blast out there. But when we wanted to get away from everybody, that's what we did. We headed out to the Everglades.
And you have 2 ways to get across. Like you're going from Tampa to Miami across. There's 2 ways you can go. They have Alligator Alley, which is the southern route. Now they have, is it I-75 that continues across there? It's like the northern route across. I think it's a $2 toll road to go across the northern route, but it's faster. What was I going to say about that? But the bottom one was the old Alligator Alley before they built the new one, and then they call that Alligator Alley as well. And they both cross the swamp area, but it's like 90 miles of almost
There's
nothing.
some campgrounds out
There are
there,
some campgrounds.
and I thought
And
that would be an
there's a bunch of
interesting.
little native villages too you drive
Yeah,
through.
you have all the Seminole Indians out there. So I think that would be a cool place to camp out. So I grew up in those places. So to me, it feels kind of like home being out there
I
in
like
the
the more
Everglades.
southern route takes you into Homestead. And so if you're going to Key West, it's a shorter, you're not going into Miami at all. You bypass all that. The upper one brings you into Miami, and you have to come down along the East Coast and down to Homestead to get out to the Keys. But if you take the lower, the old Alligator Alley, one, you have no tolls. It's a little slower, but you're going to see more neat stuff.
Mhm.
And then when it gets back over to the East Coast, you're in Homestead already. You just make a right, and you come right down into the Keys. In fact, yeah, you hit that first light and make a right, and it takes you right to the Keys.
Yeah, it has changed quite a bit, of course. I remember growing up, everything was so much different.
It's so crowded.
It is
It's
super
so
duper crowded.
And that really takes all the fun out of it.
Spawn Trooper said he got to meet Princess Diana.
Oh, that's neat.
That is way cool. I love Princess Diana. I always thought she was just a beautiful person with such a big heart.
Princess Diana.
I used to have a picture of her in my house in Ocala because I just thought she was just a beautiful person inside and out. So that's pretty cool. I would have loved to meet her.
And the whole Charles and the princes and all that. I think most of Hollywood America follows all of that more than they probably even do.
Yeah, Brett often says he doesn't understand all that.
I don't.
And I don't follow the family. I followed her. I liked her because she had such a big heart and she did so many wonderful things. Mm-hmm. And it's like she used her platform, so to speak.
She used her platform
to do great things.
Do good things.
And she was just a beautiful person with a big heart. So it was such a big loss to see her go. And I always felt sorry for her children that they grew out without
and
her.
I can't really think offhand any leadership that we have in the United States that models that. I can't think of any that have such a good moral character.
Yeah. So I loved her. I had a picture of her hanging up in my house and people thought that was odd, but to me she was someone I think you should.
It was because
I looked up to
what
her.
she stands for. Yeah,
right.
Of course.
So that's my little story about that. So yeah, Spawn Trooper, I'm a little jelly of that. But that's really cool. I'm glad you got to have that experience.
Hey, Spawn Trooper too, another little story, a real short story. My Taekwondo school that I was in Fairbanks, Alaska, they went and competed in England last year. Was it last year or the year before? One of the last 2 years they went, because the year before that they went, I think every 2 years they go. The 2 years before that they went to Argentina, and that was a great place to go because Taekwondo down there is a big thing. And then I think it was 2 years ago they went to England and competed there. I don't know if you're in that arena or you know people in that arena, but Team USA, Jeff Herbin was my instructor, and he was the captain of Team USA, and he took a good part of the best competitors in that school. It was a big school, and then other competitors from the lower 48 states, and they made a team and called it Team USA, and then they went to England and competed over there. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of like Olympics, but on a smaller scale. It was just Taekwondo.
Okay.
Yep.
True story, bro.
True story.
True story, bro.
No, I didn't go. I didn't compete.
I know nothing about it.
But it's neat that they got to go.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool to be able to travel to other countries and be able to experience different cultures. And
his daughter's really good, Amanda Herbin. But she's super flexible, and she's now, I believe, a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo and ITF style. And she's done amazing. She has I want to say, it might be more now, but she had 7 medals 7 gold medals from
That's pretty
those
awesome.
competitions, and she goes to every one of them. So she was little, and she's been in Taekwondo, and now she's probably in her mid-20s, I would guess.
Really cool. Makes a difference growing up into that. So what else are we doing this week?
I don't know.
We're gonna do more deals, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Shopping for deals
Shopping
and
for deals.
doing projects around here. It's slowing down. It's definitely slowing down. I know we've been thinking about going on a trip, and it's hard sometimes to think about leaving here because it's so nice and we have so much fun, but I am excited to go on a road trip for sure. And another thing we're doing this week is we got some wallpaper for the bathroom, so we might try to tackle that this week. If not this week, next week. Oh, the mail truck is coming. Whew. I guess the delivery guy is here.
We've got mail.
It's mail time.
Let's see what we got here.
You gonna chuck those packages out at me?
Mm.
Better not chuck that one because they're breakable.
Yeah, these are glass.
These are so awesome. It says, "Hi, Therese and Brett. I love to kill time by dumpster diving, which is thrift store shopping. Before I saw your episode of Getting Your Table, I happened on these and thought of your distillery trip. I know these have to make it to your cabin. I'm enjoying your channel and all your adventures of the area. Stay safe and God bless. Lori from Lincoln, Nebraska. These are so awesome. I love them.
There's 4 of them.
Oh,
they look like mason jars.
I know. When I opened that, I was like, I instantly was like, oh my gosh, these are so cute. I love that they're not huge.
Yeah.
And they're like the perfect drinking size. Thank you so much for thinking of this. So sweet. I love it.
Definitely very cute. Goes with our whiskey barrel.
So thank you, Lori. That was so sweet for thinking of us. I've never even seen ones like that. So what a cool find. That's what I love about going to thrift stores. You never know what kind of cool treasures you're going to find. I grew up going to thrift stores, so it's a lot of fun. Ooh, this is another neat one from Sandy. Sandy says, I bought this for my daughter and I. She takes it hiking all the time, and it was perfect for our trip to Iceland last year. Now I use it to be hands-free when I'm using my walker or cane. Hope you enjoy, from Sandy Frisk. Thank you, Sandy. This is so awesome.
You can put the water bottle in there.
I've been wanting one of those. This is going to be perfect. So I can put this bottle in there. It fits perfectly.
Oh, look at that. It was made for it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sandy. This is going to be awesome because I have to bring water on my hike for sure.
Very nice. She'll use this every day going to the gym.
Yeah, I carry that bottle around at the gym, so I can even wear that when we walk the trail at the gym. Thank you.
We'll probably go Tuesday because we won't have a car. Once we go turn the car in, we can go walk.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It'll be down to just the motorcycle. So hopefully Tuesday it doesn't rain.
Hopefully not. Thank you so much. And thank you again for anybody who sent anything. I know Melanie has been putting up our P.O. box address and our Amazon wish list. Thank you so much for that, Melanie.
Oh, these things are cute too.
This says, hello, Brett and Therese, sending you a small gift that hopefully goes with your new home. Make sure
to get closer to the camera here.
Make sure to only use the side that has the cork on it. I've been watching ever since you started your channel and enjoy your content. All the best, Ruth Parks.
They're coasters.
They are so cute. I love them so much. There's 2 that have wreaths on them.
And they're all corked.
That is so creative.
They're wooden and they're painted.
We absolutely love them.
Oh, and they have a little stand.
She did such a good job with those. Thank you, Ruth.
Looks like an elk.
They fit with the cabin perfectly. Love it.
Very cool.
A deer stand.
The other one I got to get up for.
This other one, be careful. She crafted the coolest coin bank and other things that go along with it. And I can't believe she was able to make this. And I'll read you the little letter. The items are all handmade by me.
We put them on this lid so they'd be easier to see.
So this is a coin bank, and the coins go in the chimney. There's a Mr. and Mrs. Outhouse. Whoop, whoop. I just lost the lid.
That's okay.
But they sit right here. So it says Mrs. and the other one says Mr. Whoop, I keep flipping my lid. And then there's a duck pond with all these little duckies. I don't know if you can see them so well, but they glow in the dark too. So all these little duckies in the duck pond. And then there's even little firewood, and it says the Grangers. Like, that is so cute. So she's an older woman that has crippling things in her hands, but she continues to go out of her way and stay active and making these awesome things.
And those little wood.
And it helps keep the strength in her hands, so she doesn't use anything as an excuse to not do.
It's a cute little thing. We got a shelf we're going to put it on.
And these are her desk builds that she does at her desk. And she makes all these little things, and that is so cool. So she says she knows we would appreciate it. And she may also make jewelry boxes and trinket boxes. I hope you enjoy your bank. And Joel,
I think it's Jolia or
Joelia Sword. She goes by Joe.
She goes by Joe.
I'm so terrible at pronouncing names. She's a Silver Eagle on YouTube. So I think that's so sweet that she does. I mean, I don't think I could craft something like that. And here she has limitations, and she doesn't use that as an excuse.
Right.
And actually, when you have stuff wrong, if you stop doing things, you just shut down. You got to keep going. That's what keeps you going. I think that's one of the huge problems that people make, even just getting older, is they stop moving and stop moving around. And it's so important to continue to be active. And I understand when some people have limitations, so you just figure out a different way to do something, modifications.
Find a hobby. If you're retired, find something you love to do. If it's fishing, playing golf.
Yeah, you got to keep doing something.
You got to stay
and
active.
Keep active. That's one of the biggest problems people don't realize. They said too, strength training, just getting into the gym, that also helps make you smarter, like more than word puzzles. And it's important to have strong leg muscles
and bone strength for older people. Going to the
it
gym
helps your bones.
We've read that going to the gym is even more beneficial to older people.
Thank you, Nancy. So it's just super important to take care of yourself and keep going. And that's a perfect example of not using things as an excuse, but keep going and doing. And you spread so much joy. Like, that was just so touching and sweet.
I know.
All
these gifts are so sweet.
It is. We appreciate everybody so much that you actually are thinking of us. That means so much. And it's just, whenever I open these things, getting ready for the live and throughout the week, just having them open and ready, like, I am just smiling. Sometimes I get teary-eyed reading the different letters that people send, even emails that people send to me, and they're telling me different stories about themselves and growing up, and I get a chance to talk to people. It's very touching. to hear some of the people's stories. And that's the great thing about the channel that I love, is getting to talk to all you guys.
The positive stuff, the difference. You might touch somebody and make a difference in their life, and that's great.
Yeah. And it's a win-win situation. It's not just me making a difference, but you guys make a difference in my life, and it's a give and take. And that's what the whole world should be. And it's like a domino effect. You go be nice to that person, they go be nice, and it's just a whole lot of beautiful niceness. I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah. There's times where she doesn't want to do the channel anymore because some things that she may hear, or the work that's involved in the editing.
Silver
the videos.
Eagle says, open the outhouses.
Oh.
There's a surprise in there? Let's see.
We didn't do that.
We didn't look inside. I wonder if there's toilet paper or a bucket.
Here's yours.
Is that a bucket?
I think it's a bucket.
You see it. Let me see.
I got the same thing.
Is that a bucket there?
Or is that a toilet seat?
I think there's a toilet and a bucket.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. It's cute. I didn't even look hilarious. In there. I just thought it was
That is so hilarious.
A lot of detail, a lot of thought.
I love that. The blue bucket.
So cute. Very creative.
No turtles. No turtles, just duckies. Duckies are in. A little blue bucket. Is that like the little blue buckets they have at Lowe's right now? Have you seen them? They're like this. They're this big.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. See, and that's another thing, like smiles and everybody laughing. It's good for everybody to be in community together. It helps you get through the hard days and the hard times. I know that's another thing, like with the eating plan that I have been doing. There's also a Facebook group which creates a community, and people can stick with things better when there's a community.
Mm-hmm. And you push each other.
Yeah, you push each other, you hold each other accountable, you cheer each other up on bad days. You also help each other with modifications of how to do things. I mean, it's a whole big planet, and everybody has experienced all kinds of different stuff. So you can reach out to each other who's had like problems, and then there's solutions. It's a give and take. And it's very important to have community and be in groups where you can have that back and forth, because we were not made to be alone. We were made to be with each other. So I think that's just another important thing. And what I love about this channel is being able to be in a community with such a group of loving, caring people.
Of like-minded people.
Yeah.
That want to just talk positivity and nourishment and health. And it's good. It's healthy.
It's so awesome. It's like when Tuesday nights when we get to go to the church to go to our Following Jesus meetings that we're having for 7 weeks. And they also have small groups and life groups and things like that. It's something I look forward to, because you get to talk with a group of people. Some may have information and knowledge that you didn't know that they can share with you. And you just learn so much being around different people.
And you shared a lot with the group last week, because they were asking you too about Israel and how that was. And she has a hard time even describing it. She says it's so much, so overwhelming, and it's an area of the world where there's so much Bible history that you just can't even take it all in one trip.
It was so rushed. I would love to be able to spend a couple months, 3 to 6 months there, because there's just so much. And we were talking about baptism and being baptized in the Jordan River when I was there, and what kind of experience it was.
That had to be incredible.
It was an amazing experience just to be all through Israel in different places that Jesus walked, and there were spots where you could absolutely just feel a strong presence. And that day getting baptized was amazing because you're there with so many different people and they're just making such a life choice, and it's so emotional. And I know Rabbi Jason's wife was there, and she's a very talented singer, and her sister was also there on the trip, and she's a singer as well. So there was people playing guitar and singing, and it just added to the whole experience.
And there were other tour groups there too, and they were listening to this, and they were kind of,
it was just
getting into it.
It's just like a little piece of what heaven is going to be like when you're all in community with each other and there's nothing but good and love and peace, and it's just an absolute amazing beauty. And you just get this little piece of it. Oh,
yeah,
it's just amazing.
I think it was our pastor this morning. He near the end, as he's starting to close, he always says, he has people up front here. If there's something you need to pray for, you can bring it to them and they'll pray with you. And that's right before the communion starts. So it's right at the very end. And he goes, for some of you whose team may have lost yesterday, they can pray for you. Just come down here. It was hilarious. The whole place started laughing because, of course, most of the audience are Tennessee fans, but he's talking to the Alabama fans without really saying it. It was funny. The way he did it was perfect.
You got to have humor. And I feel blessed to be rooted in a good church. And I hope more of you can find that. It's a wonderful thing now that on the internet you can watch so many different services without even leaving your home. But I can tell you that if you can find a church to go to where you can thrive, the energy that you get when you're in the building with all the people is completely different than what you get watching it online. But it's still good if you're not able to go to watch it online. I encourage everybody to do that. And it's an amazing thing, and you help yourself grow so much. And just to know that you're a small piece of this big puzzle and this big family, and the positive impact you can have on other people is incredible.
Yeah.
So I feel blessed and so grateful that we are able to go to church every week and to be able to partake in extra classes.
Because many countries around the world are not able to freely practice their religion. They have to hide it. So we're blessed. So,
and again, continue to pray for all the things going on in the world right now, and negative people and negative situations, and pray for their hearts to soften and that they too can start doing good things and getting a connection with Jesus.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to thank our moderators because you guys are so awesome. We appreciate you so much. You help us out incredibly, keeping everything positive and blocking out the negativity. We love that. And we want to thank our members. This week, we had a little lakeside chat with our members in Tim's Ford State Park. There was a beautiful spot by the lake that we hung out and talked to everybody, and we got to enjoy that.
There was a swing.
Yeah, there was a nice swing there. So we love being able to share those things with y'all. And we appreciate you guys, whether you're a member, whether you're not a member. And don't forget to always check your subscription, because sometimes YouTube likes to just randomly unsubscribe people.
Yeah.
So make sure you're still subscribed. That is free. Membership does cost a small fee. There's 2 different levels. If you're interested, it is in our bio, and there are links for that. I don't know what we're going to do this week. It's always kind of random.
Yeah, it's more of a
we don't really have the member
yeah.
stuff planned. We just randomly check in with y'all, and we love getting to talk with you guys. I know it was Jessica's birthday this week, so we got to sing happy birthday to Jessica because she was on our members chat.
Yeah.
So sorry to hurt your ears like that, Jessica, but
Yeah.
we did get to sing to her. She might have had to pay us to stop singing to her. But we really love you guys. We appreciate you so much. And we look forward to seeing you at some point this week and definitely next Sunday. And tomorrow will be a video about Tim's Ford State Park.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yes. And we'll probably see y'all later in the chat on Jeremy's live.
Yeah. We'll be
What the Hales when we check in with Jeremy and George and see what they're up to.
Right.
All right. Well, you guys take care of each other and keep spreading the love and go out into your community and see what kind of good things you can do. Yep. Get those hearts working and doing good things. We love you guys.
Yep. Thanks for coming out. Enjoyed you guys being with us today.
Until next time.
Bye, guys.